Welcome, everyone. So we'll give everyone a chance to sign on. As usual, while we're getting started, read the disclaimer. Past performance is no indicator of future performance. We are not professional investment advisors. We're not certified. We're not any of that. We're just traders looking to make some money in the stock market. Anything said in this show should be taken for entertainment purposes. Interesting day today. So while we let everybody sign on, we'll check out Netflix getting crushed after hours, down about $50. Ouch. Hey, Roland, how are you, brother? Excuse me. Interesting day today, Roland. Interesting day. All around. So let's go ahead and get started. As we said, always read the disclaimer. Anytime you do anything, anywhere, on anything, make sure you read the disclaimer, okay? Let's go ahead and get started. You guys can see on the side there, it was kind of a muddled day today, right? It was the Dow, the components were up, the S&P was down a little bit, NASDAQ was down, not bad, the NASDAQ. Down about 20 points. The Russell, the small caps, lost a little of their juice, down about 0.5%. The VIX up about 5%, but still below 13. Probably not flashing anything real serious. Let's see what else we got going on here. We'll talk about it in a second, but Netflix just released earnings and got crushed. And it's exactly what we've been talking about on the show, but we'll talk about that in a second. The big thing, of course, the big thing that just gobbled up the news cycle this morning, there was no other talk about anything else, was Trump and Putin, right? That was an interesting exhibit. Let's call it an exhibit. So there's a lot of back and forth, and depending on who you're listening to, what channel you watch, you're getting different stories. But the consensus of it seems to be that both sides were a little disappointed with President Trump, that he didn't come out and just attack Russia on that meddling and stuff. And we're not sure why. Maybe there's a strategy or something to what he's doing. Who knows? With Trump, it's hard to tell, right? He's a wily cat, just like Putin. Putin's an old KGB agent. So he understands what's going on. But look, if you guys want to get into some real good information, Fox News. Now, look, all you CNN and MSNBC people, don't get all freaked out, okay? This is a good neutral interview. It'll be showing at 6 p.m. on Fox. Chris Wallace, I think it's Chris Wallace, but he's a great journalist. Supposedly, it's a good interview. It was right after the summit. So let's see if you guys get a chance to tune in. The other thing, too, is, we had Bank of America earnings today, right? This morning before the bell, and they just blew earnings out. Bank of America had a huge day today, up about 5%, which we were expecting. We've been talking about that. We think banks, of all those banks that missed on Friday, we didn't think Bank of America would be one of them, and they weren't. So let's roll on over to Netflix, because that's kind of exciting, right? They just released earnings. Let me check a live quote here. Oh, man, stock's down $52. And we've been talking about it, right, over the last week or so. You guys that tune in regularly know. Netflix is just potentially the wheels falling off. They've had all this great growth. This is the first time in 5 quarters they've missed subscriber goals. So they've had 4 quarters, which is a year, over a year of great growth, subscriber growth. They've done a lot of things, but one of the big things that caught our eye was recently, a quarter or two ago. Remember, they pumped all that money into new content. Who's watching it? 90% of it, and we all talked about it, right? And whether you like Netflix or not, we all agreed, right, that new content is just not interesting. It's not catching. It's not grabbing. Is it getting new subscribers? Well, that's one of the problems. And Netflix is hell-bent on original content. So they're going to keep pumping money in. So even though it's down $50, does it have more to go, right? It's not growing. They're not growing earnings. They're not growing anything. And that subscriber base is everything to them. Then you've got, if depending on who you're talking to, if you're talking to somebody who leans a little neutral or to the right, they'll tell you it's heavy liberal program. You look at the comedians that are on it. They're always liberal comedians. There's rarely, if any, persons from the right. You look at the shows, look at the weeklies and stuff. It's always got that the gun control and everything into it. It's not, I want you guys to remember this. It's not so much about viewers not wanting to see opposing politics. What it is viewers don't tune into Netflix for politics, right? They don't want their politics in it. Even if you're on the left, you get tired of it, right? Everything, there's no depth to the stories. There's no complexity to the stories because they're so busy trying to hit these talking points and agendas, right? You've seen it happen with Scandal. Scandal, you started out as a great show. Now it just sucks. Now it's just talking points, right? The same thing happened with a couple other shows that we were watching. Designated Survivors, one of them, right? Look, this trade team, I'm a staunch independent. We've got one independent, but everyone else leans left. And they stopped watching Designated Survivor. It was such a good show that first season and a half, 2 seasons. And then all of a sudden it just went sideways. So, Netflix probably has some bigger problems than just this earnings report. Now, we didn't short Netflix, and we talked about it last week, right? We weren't going to set up a short for this one. Missed an opportunity there, but that's okay. We were in Bank of America. But look, we didn't short it because we thought maybe this earnings report, it wouldn't have been built into it enough for them to miss that subscribers. But it looks like that problem is a much bigger problem than anybody thinks. So we'll keep an eye on Netflix and we'll talk about it going forward because, it's an interesting play. It's an interesting stock and it's a FANG stock. So it's important. Let me check. Well, it's recovered about $5, which is not much. Still down about 12%. Bank of America had a huge day today, huh? Boom, up almost 5% in one day. Beautiful. Moving back towards that $30 range. Had a great day. Started off on fire. Had a little pullback in the middle of the market. Then it just caught fire right back again. Looks like all these people that have been dumping for the last week and a half, 2 weeks are starting to really regret it. Now, that was a tough call because you had the big banks reporting on Friday and you had one good one, you had a couple bad ones. So it was really hard to tell, right, what Bank of America was going to do. But we really like Bank of America. Now, you guys that play along Bank of America with us, because we don't just play options on Bank of America. We own a lot of the shares and we like the shares going forward. Regardless of what happens economically, we like the Bank of America going forward. And we also like another small bank too that we talk about in our hyper group. But look, if you guys want to get an even better snapshot and you want to see why Bank of America is so attractive, it's because of the boss, their CEO. It's a guy named Moynihan. And he's really a sharp guy, and he's really, really managed this bank through, remember from 2007 on, how banks were just so bad and stuff, and the environment was so bad for them. The regulations were just tightening like a noose, and the interest rates were just dropping, and they were just losing all their chances for profitability. This guy managed it like a master. He will be on CNBC's Mad Money with Jim Cramer today. I don't know what time that comes on, but you guys just... You can check your schedule. But look, any of you investors out there, whether you're into the banks or not, watch this interview because it's really a good interview. It's a great, great business interview. Get some good insight on the banks. So that pretty much the stock talk today. Let's talk about our saying of the week. Let's start off Monday with some fun, okay? You know what I mean? It was, look, this Trump-Putin meeting can really bring you down if you let it, okay? I mean, we've had people come out. It was so funny. Everyone on the trade team, we sat in front of CNBC after that presser finished, and we watched literally 7 guests in a row, and all they said was the first words out of I was sick to my stomach when Trump said that. It was just, it was kind of fun. It was a lot of fun. But it was an interesting presser. He still hasn't come out and just got aggressive with Russia on this meddling. But look, let's be honest about this, okay? Let's be honest about this. In 2012, we were warned. We laughed about it. And now we're in this situation. Okay, we need to fix it. November is only a couple months away. We need to stop arguing the left and the right, and we need to just lock this down. Never mind the pointing fingers, never mind the accusations, never mind who did this, who did that, whose watch it was on, whose watch it is, right? We need to fix this. We have an absolutely massive midterm coming up. It's going to decide probably Congress. It's going to decide a lot of things for the next 2 years. It's critical. We need to make sure that we don't make the same mistakes. We were warned in 2012, okay? We didn't listen. We got our bit in the butt on 2016, right? And it's just never recovered since then. What are we doing to fix it? That should be the question. What are we doing to prevent it from happening again? Okay? So look, let's check Netflix one more time before we get to the saying I'm going to share with you. It's down about $53, and then we'll start talking story with everybody. But let's pop this up to the broadcast. And sorry, popped up the wrong one. Let's do this. So look, how's this one for on a day when Bank of America blew out earnings has made all that money? This is one of our favorites. It's from Bill Maher. He's kind of a left-leaning comedian, but he's kind of intelligent and stuff. A lot of fun. So if you have a gun, you can rob a bank. But if you have a bank, you can rob everyone. I love that one. You guys get a kick out of that. Look, it's kind of it's a sketchy start to the week. For us, it's a great start to the week. Bank of America, we couldn't ask for more. 4% day, kind of brought up all the financials. We're not into the Netflix. Yeah, we talked about it, but we got something better we want to set up for that. And, we didn't want to take any chances because it might not have been built into this earnings report, but we're seeing it, right? Subscriber growth is failing at Netflix. And you know what? You know who you can who's been on point on this from the beginning is my partner, Samuel Levitz. Samuel Levitz has been right about Netflix for about a month and a half now. Should have listened to him, huh? Man. But let's see. Let's make sure I covered all the subjects here before we let you go. Oh, Samuel, you're here. Hey, let's see if we need questions. Yeah, we missed one. Yeah, Savar. It happens, brother. It happens. There's so much out there to play. There's so much out there to watch. You get these little ideas and you kind of analyze them. And, like on the Netflix, like we've been talking about, right? Would that stuff we've been talking about all week be built into this earnings report? Because you got to remember, an earnings report has 2 sections, and this is important for all of you to learn. And let me get Samuel's comment up there while I'm telling you this. But this is important for all investors to understand. There's 2 sides to an earnings release. You get the earnings release, and what that's talking about is the last quarter. So it's old data, right? It's relevant data, but it's old data. What you're looking for is the guidance, because they always have a conference call afterwards and they talk about what they're seeing for the coming quarter. That's what you're playing, right? So we were concerned that maybe that subscriber loss hadn't been built into this earnings report, but obviously it was, man. Netflix is down about 54 points. We'll see how it goes on the earnings call, right? Because that's where they generally they'll give their forward guidance and they'll talk about mistakes made during the quarter, what they've been doing to remedy these problems on the earnings report. So it's a big thing, the earnings call. But look, that's the 2 things you guys, if you guys really want to get some good information, Fox News at 6 p.m. Eastern, we'll have Chris Wallace, an interview direct with Putin. And also too, Mad Money will have Moynihan, the CEO from Bank of America. You guys, especially guys in our group, in Stock Pick Profits, you guys make sure that you, if you can, you go watch that Moynihan interview, because it'll really, you'll get a good feel for it. The guy is an incredible CEO. Let's go look at some comments. Investors that get caught in the emotional drama of politics instead don't just use it as a reason. There you go, transferring the wealth to those of us that are as cool as cucumbers. Samuel, that is words to live by, brother. And you know it. Well, I mean, we spend so much time together, Samuel. You know all this stuff like the back of your hand already. But, it's important for all the traders to know. It's just like this morning. What would you do if you own Netflix right now? Ask yourself, You know what I mean? What would you do if you own Netflix right now? Oh my God, do you rush out and sell? Do you panic? How do you handle this situation? You guys saw last week how we handled a snap trade, right? That was expiring. You know what I mean? We had a contingency plan. But if you own Netflix right now and it's down $55 after hours and you can't trade out after hours, you got to wait till the bell opens tomorrow morning. Man, you're going to have a long night tonight. Do you have a plan? Right? Oh no, Samuel, look who just showed up. But hey, Greg Viegas, great friend of ours. Don't take a shower. Greg had a shower. I think it was a $9,000 shower. And it was when you were staying at the office too, right? You were coming through town. But it's that what you said, Samuel, is the key statement there. Investors that get caught in the emotional drama of politics. Look, there's a lot of ways you can interpret what Trump was saying. Maybe he's just talking about, yeah, there were things that we could have done to prevent this from happening, and we didn't for whatever reason. Maybe we sacrificed the 2016 election in order to meet political agendas on one side or the other. We don't know. We don't really know what happened behind the scenes. So if you get caught in this and you're just so emotional over it, trade your stocks. Okay. So let's see, Mr. Savar. And if you're a banker, not only can you rob, you won't go to jail for it. No, unless you live in, why would you say Iceland? Just curious. Did they put bankers in jail over there? What the hell's wrong with them? But hey, I just wanted to say real quick, welcome, Greg. It's nice to have you, man. Greg goes way back with Stock Pick Profits. Greg goes way back with Financial Reboot. Greg goes way back. He's a great guy. If you guys get to know Greg. Greg's a big Bitcoin player. Let's see if we got any other comments down here. So yeah, it doesn't look like, if you guys got any questions, pop them real quick, because I'm going to start doing the rundown to close the show. It was a long, they did us, Savar. I'll go read about that too, because I probably heard about it, but I just go through so much information, you know what I mean, that something like that might have just slipped out. Let's do a Netflix check. Check, still down. $56 now. But, ask yourself, it's just like, and all you guys that are members of the group know this. You see, like that Snap play with those options, we had a contingency plan going forward, right? Snap didn't have a great day today. It started off real hot, but it kind of pulled back, but it held that $13 level, which is what we wanted. But we had a contingency plan, right? If you own Netflix right now, if you bought a share and you're down $56, what's your contingency plan? How do you handle that? Well, guess what? The rest of the week, we're going to talk about that. So all you viewers can learn how to be just like what Samuel said, cool as a cucumber. Because look, there's been times we've come on this show and we've got things that are just going wrong. But you never see us panic and you never see us freak out, right? Because we have plans. We know what we're doing. If you guys don't, then, you guys know where to click. Other than that, let's see how this plays out with this Trump-Putin meeting. These are wily cats, like we said. There's probably something going on behind the doors, or there's a strategy that we don't understand or something, Remember what Trump says, he's a genius, okay? We might not always understand what he's doing. And look, I'm one of those people. I'm sorry. I'm one of those people that he is the president of the United States. So I'm going to have a certain amount of faith in him. Okay. Because if America succeeds, I succeed. Same thing like you guys that are from other countries, right? You got to kind of support. You always, there's always things that you're not happy with whatever your government is. If you're from Iceland, if you're from Norway, if you're from China, Russia, there's always going to be things that your government doesn't like. But these are, hopefully you're in a country where it's an elected official, not a dictatorship or anything like that. But you have to support to a certain extent, because otherwise you're not supporting your country, right? So, of course, we criticize when mistakes are made, but we support. we're always on that side. So Icelanders, yeah, we'll go check that out. But look, gang, so for the rest of the week, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about ways that you can handle a situation where your market closes and your stock's $400, and 15 minutes after the market closes, it's $343. Ouch. What do you do in that situation? Well, we're cool cucumbers, you know, and we're going to teach you that going on forward this week. So look, guys, it's been a great show. It's been a great day. Greg Vegas, thank you for showing up. Everybody, thank you for showing up. It's great to see you. You guys have a fantastic Monday. We'll be back tomorrow with a live show. As always, post your questions, comments in the comment section. We always review them before the next show, so you guys can so we can review them and stuff. But we always like to make this a teaching lesson. So this week, that's what we're going to work on, okay? Because it kind of played in, the snap trade kind of segues into what happened with Netflix. So let's use Netflix as the rest of the week as a chance for us to teach you how to handle these and not freak out, lose your hair, and lose all your fingernails and stuff like that, okay, gang? So look, you guys have a great Monday. Remember, if you get a chance to tune into Mad Money with Jim Cramer, Moynihan, the CEO of Bank of America, will be on there. It'll be a great interview. The guy's a fantastic interview. He is so intelligent. And then if you want to kind of catch up and see somebody play a little bit more hardball with Putin than what we saw this morning, Chris Wallace has a one-on-one interview with Vladimir Putin at 6 p.m. Eastern time on Fox. You guys check those out, okay, gang? But other than that, you guys have a great afternoon. It's like we always tell the people in our trade team, look, if you don't feel like checking it out, don't. Go surfing, go swimming, go have some fun. We'll watch it for you, okay? So, and if you need somebody to watch it for you, you know where the link is, okay, gang? So we'll talk to you guys soon. We'll see you tomorrow afternoon. Thank you so much for attending.